Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. Today I wanted to ask some serious questions of the cards. We're officially in the Operation Epic Fury, the military campaign against the Iranian regime. Thousands of our Marines are on ships. The 82nd Airborne is on standby. Gas has nearly hit $4 a gallon. In some places, it's over that. I paid $6.09 the other day in California. And this is all due to the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, the water passage where 20% of the world's oil flows. So we've just waived the Jones Act as well because the fertilizer supply is choked. And no fertilizer means the spring planting season will be in a tailspin. So the questions I asked of the cards are, will we be in Iran for a long term or only a short while? How long will we be there? Next question is Trump's health, what's it like in April? What's Trump's health like in April? I've never done a health reading on Trump, so we'll see what that says. Also, this 25th Amendment talk, is that real talk or is it just noise? And are we, this economic collapse that we're so clearly headed for, is this a plan? Is this a calculated plan or just unhinged chaos from someone who doesn't know what they're doing? And then other questions as well, but we'll get started with those. So I'm using my black and white tarot, my black and white oracle, and Whispers of the Unsolved today. Okay, so question number 1, our troops, is there an exit plan? We get the runner. Good, correct, and premeditated. So we start off with the runner. This represents Trump's administration running from a long-term commitment. Running from a long-term commitment. How long are we going to be in Iran is the question, right? Trump's administration is running from a long-term commitment. Pretty much answers the question. So, but right now they're telling us that there's this, they're pausing strikes until April 6th. So April 6th is the 10-day deadline or ultimatum that President Trump issued, telling the Iranian regime that they have until April 6th to stop the harassment in the Strait or face the full force of our military. But look at the premeditated card. This represents the Iranian elite guard. They're positioning the blade. See the blade behind his back? They aren't scared of the April 6th deadline. They're using this time to set a trap. They've had set a trap. This isn't likely to be a swift exit if it begins. It's a lure, it's a trap. So if we go in, we're not getting out quickly. That's the plan, the Iranian plan. The April 6th is the stab date, the day the ultimatum expires and the real trap is sprung. So hopefully that answers that question. Next question, what's Trump's health like in April? And I got special delivery. Sorry for the glare. Fake death, new life. These two skeletons, one with its mouth covered, one with its eyes covered. And embezzlement, a man putting money in his coat pocket. So, special delivery, this is something unexpected. Expect the unexpected. So there could be like a sudden medical event happening to Trump in April. And the spin will be this new life, fake death, new life. They're going to claim that he had or will have a miraculous recovery due to some medical breakthrough. They want to show Trump as more energetic, hiding the skeleton of the reality that he's actually dying. But the embezzlement card that shows up makes me think of a man's chest. So I think that something involving his chest or heart area may be what happens, something around that area. It also tells me that they're stealing his stamina, using secret high-priced meds to keep him upright. He's functioning, but the stamina is borrowed from a pharmacy, not the man himself. So we can expect a scare around Donald Trump's chest or heart area, followed by some kind of PR blitz, claiming he's stronger than ever, but it's all pharmacy-grade illusion. Question number 3. Hold on, let me just pick up the cards. A little hard to pick up. Question number 3, the 25th Amendment. Is it real or is it just noise? And I got survivor. Overcoming obstacles, beating the odds, pulling through, coming out stronger than before. Fear. And red rum backwards. Okay. So I feel like a survivor, this is Trump on the island by himself, and the helicopters are flying away. I mean, the island could represent Carg Island. It could also represent the White House. In this case, it represents the White House. So Trump is on this island, which means he stays in the White House. The sharks in the water circling, that represents Congress. They don't have the guts or the wherewithal to go on land, right, and strike him down. So they don't have the guts to pull the 25th Amendment trigger. They're too afraid, too full of fear. So instead, they're going to silence him. They're going to attack his throat. Since they can't take his seat, they'll move to kill or gag him in some way. That's a possibility. It's also a possibility that they may try to take him out in some other more brutal way, as is depicted by this card. So Congress isn't backing Trump. His people aren't backing him. It sounds like. But they're afraid to do the 25th Amendment. I don't know why. I think that talk will get really strong around the time of Trump's ailing health. And then perhaps he'll, because of this health incident, maybe his speech won't be as good and they don't want him to talk. I don't know why they want to silence him, is what I'm trying to figure out. And or if this is a take him out card or just a silence him card. So we'll see. I feel like, to answer the question, the 25th Amendment isn't going to happen. He will stay in his seat. He will remain on the island, but they'll try to take away his microphone or his cameras. Probably, most likely, that is the potential, because they want him in the White House. They want to keep him there. They're too afraid to pull the 25th Amendment trigger. But they're going to try to keep him quiet. Okay, that's what I get from those cards. So my next questions to the cards is this: our economy, is it collapsing? You know, it's collapsing in front of us. What's happening to our economy? Is this a planned demolition, or is this chaos due to incompetence? And I got the Confession, and they got it wrong. This sign that says wrong way, go back. So is the plan to demolish the economy being accomplished? The cards say the demolition is happening, but it's going the wrong way, which tells me it is a plan, but it's going haywire. The powers that be of this plan, the elites, they want a controlled crash to reset the dollar on their terms. But the evidence on the wall shows that they've lost control. It's turned into unhinged chaos. They're going to have to confess, not because they want to, but because the fertilizer and the food supply chain snapped in a way that they didn't predict. They're breaking the system, but they're breaking it so badly they might have to go down with the ship. So the demolition is happening. It's a plan, but it's gone wrong. It's no longer controlled. It's a mess that's exposing all their receipts. So they didn't foresee, I don't know how these smart minds didn't foresee the fertilizer issue causing problems, not only for America, but for the world. So I asked the next question, is there going to be a food shortage? And I feel like the answer is yes. Because of the Strait of Hormuz blockade, we have a 25% short on nitrogen and urea fertilizers that make our crops grow. And the cards are showing me that the American farmer will be forced to ditch corn and wheat because they simply can't feed the soil. They don't have the fertilizer. This is going to hit our bread, our pasta, our cereal. Those prices are going to hit the roof by late summer. And that's going to affect our meat and our dairy because you can't feed the chickens and the cows without corn. And so there's going to be food shortage. There's going to be high prices, double prices, and along with the gas prices. So it's likely to last, be very volatile for quite a while, several months. Around September, October, we probably will see empty shelves in the grocery store. So Spirit is saying this to tell people to stock their pantries now, you know, get the items that will likely be short on. Yeah, stock your pantry. This will have a global impact as well. The rest of the world will feel it in their survival. South Asia, East Africa, India, Egypt. We could be looking at a calorie crisis too. So Spirit is saying that if Trump does put boots on the ground, if they fall into the premeditated trap that Iran has set for us, we can't get anything through the Strait, then this is likely to happen. Okay? It's all hinges on Trump's decision. But that's where the energy is headed. Okay? Now, the rest of the reading really depends on Trump's decision. And it's quite drastic. I'm not going to say I don't trust it. I'm just going to say I'm going to keep an open mind about it. I think it's a potential timeline. So, back again to confession, Spirit's confirming that the controlled demolition the elites wanted is slipping through their fingers because they underestimated Iran's fighting back and their trap. They didn't think Iran would hold out this long. So they underestimated our enemy. So next question I had for the cards is, well, is this economic collapse imminent? Is it really going to happen? You know, because I got a little scared. Is it going to happen? So I asked the cards that, and I pulled out tripping. Money reversed. Can you see that? It's hard to see. Okay. Hard to see. It's kind of dim here in my room. Morning light. And we got parental figure. Okay. So I asked if the U.S. is headed for a full-blown collapse. And we see tripping. The woman is crashing out. She's throwing things overboard, including her own stuff. Spirit is telling us the system is becoming unhinged. The money card reverse is a big warning. Upright, it's the eye of Ben Franklin, the vision of the dollar. But reversed, the vision is gone. The oversight is blind. And the pile of money is falling over. So this confirms that the value of the dollar is being flipped on its head. It's not just inflation, it's a total loss of parental control. And the parental figure, that's the Fed and the Treasury as the adult, right? Holding our hand as the child, leading us through a dark wooded park. They're holding our hand, telling us everything is fine, while the money is literally upside down behind our backs. And they are tripping because their premeditated plan for control, a controlled reset of the dollar, hit the Iranian wall. So my next question is, well, what's next for America after the collapse of the dollar? And we got shot clock and paper trail. So we got a basketball player about to dunk. He's in midair about to dunk. The score is 38-38, 24 seconds left on the clock. Countdown starts now. It says make your move, shoot your shot, running out of time. Spirit is saying that we are at the buzzer. The shot clock means that we have reached the point where a move must be made. We can't sit in the woods of the parental figure anymore. This represents a massive sudden policy move from the White House or the Fed before the April 6th deadline. Because I'm feeling like if Trump puts boots on the ground, it's going to trigger a market crash. Because everyone knows, except these people, what's going to happen next, right? You can predict what's going to happen next based on the fertilizer shortage and the oil shortage. So there's going to be a huge crash in the markets. People may run on the banks. So they're going to have to do something, right, to correct that or counteract that. So it represents some kind of massive, sudden policy move. I clarified it with the paper trail. There's paper all over the floor and around the desk. This tells me that the shot we're about to take involves a new executive order or a massive legal document of some type that shifts our entire economic game, shifts the game. So it won't be a speech, it'll be some sort of paper-heavy, bureaucratic shot, possibly an official move to devalue the dollar, or an emergency act to seize control of the food and fuel supply chains. So we're in the final seconds. The dollar is upside down. The paper trail shows that the feds the Treasury, they're scrambling to write a new set of rules before the clock hits 0 on April 6th. April 6th is just a week away, less than a week away. Oh, about a week away. Today is March 31st. So the shot that they will take is to try and pivot into a new system by force of law. So this sounds like a pretty dramatic crash, right? And if people are running on the banks, decide to run the banks to get their money out, then the United States will take this action, will likely take this action. And this is part of the plan. I think this is part of the plan. So, so I asked the question, is the shot that they're going to take, this executive order, is this an order to freeze our bank accounts or to move us into digital currency? And I think it's both. I got the window seat and caught. Looks like this man is pointing his finger at someone across the table and he's saying, "Got you." Put the cuffs on him. So in the window seat, we see this woman. She's got her eye mask on. She's got her wine next to her. She's relaxed. She's taking a hiatus. It says taking a hiatus, hermit mode, isolation, taking time for yourself. So she's taking a hiatus. We asked the government, we asked about the government's next move with our money. So there may be some sort of mandatory hiatus on our accounts. That could be what this is saying. The shot being taken involves isolating our funds. A hermit mode for the banking system to stop the tripping, the crashing out that I mentioned earlier. This executive order to put the banks in the window seat, a temporary cooling off period where withdrawals are restricted or frozen for our protection, quote unquote. They want us to sit back and put on our eye mask and wait while they reset the cabin pressure. The caught card, or another trap card, like we got premeditated, we can't see, sorry, and caught, the traps, plans upon plans upon plans. Everybody's got a plan or an agenda. It's hard reading these cards because everybody's got a calculated plan or an agenda. And who's who? Sorry. So what clarifies caught? This is a gotcha moment. While we're in the window seat, while we're waiting, while we're frozen, thinking everything is being handled by the parental figure, the feds, Treasury, the president. The parental figure, the government, is pointing their finger. And it's a setup. It's basically a way to catch the system, catch the system during this Iranian war crisis, and use it as an opportunity to reset our money system, right? The only way to unfreeze our money after we're caught waiting on hold, the only way to unfreeze our money will be to move our balance into the new digital system. And that's the part that I can't imagine. I can't imagine it. So I'm just like, I don't know. I'll keep an open mind and wait and see. It all depends on if Trump puts boots on the ground and extends this war with Iran and falls into their premeditated trap. So, and then April 6th is like the deadline for it all to kind of start. Again, this is a potential of what might happen if Trump doesn't turn back. But when I look at this card, it makes me think that he will turn back. That somehow someone will get through to him, that the food crisis will be too great an anomaly, I'm hearing anomaly, to deal with. I guess the people will be hard to control. So there's a fear of commitment here and a running away from a commitment. So I think Trump is going to back us off. That's what I think. I'm going to post this on my Patreon. And we'll see what unfolds if this April 6th deadline is crossed and the banks go on freeze or the markets start to crash, and you'll know that it's all set in motion. If that doesn't happen, then we'll do another reading. We'll find out what's going on. All right? So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I didn't want to scare anybody. I don't want to scare anybody. But I would say it couldn't hurt to go ahead and stock your pantry with canned vegetables and beans and rice. I think that's a good idea. And get some extra meat for your freezer. Hopefully you got a freezer in your garage. Stock up on your meat and chicken. And Fingers crossed that Trump does the right thing. All right? All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. And if you'd like a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. Bye.